Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're coming at you with a very raw video of what motherhood is like. So I'm literally looking my absolute worst right now. I'm tired and yeah, that's kind of where we're at, but I'm just feeding my little boy. In today's video, I thought I would just share with you my very real labour story and just kind of tell you like what happens. And yeah, if you want to see how I got on in labour, then please keep on watching. To start off with, obviously I will address the elephant in the room. This is my little boy. He's called Oscar. He's officially 10 days old today. So yeah, time is flying, and do you know what? It has been the best but worst time of my whole life. It's been the best time because obviously I've been blessed with such an amazing little boy, but obviously adjusting to having hardly no sleep, learning how to be a mum, it's all it's a lot, you know. So if you've been watching my induction video, you'll have seen that I had a balloon put in. Now, I had a balloon put in on the Monday and I had it taken out Tuesday morning. So Tuesday all day I felt pretty fine, to be honest, I think, from what I remember. I'm pretty sure I just chilled out, I had quite a few baths and I don't know, just spent the day with Neil, like chilling in the house, stuff like that. Now, I remember going to bed as normal. I'd been having the odd few contractions Tuesday after the balloon was out, but not anything like timeable. So I went to bed as normal, managed to drop off to sleep pretty easy. Then Neil came to bed around 10 to 1. He always wakes me up to go to the toilet because, well, he's used to me needing the toilet throughout the night, so he always wakes me up before he goes to sleep. So I went to go to the toilet and I noticed I was getting contractions and they were really intense. Like, they were really painful. Yeah, I was having contractions and I started timing them. So I was timing them and there was 11 minutes apart, and so it weren't really anything that I could go to the hospital with, but I decided to ring them anyway because I was in agony. So I rang them up and asked for some advice on what I could take, and they basically just said have a bath, take some paracetamol. About an hour or two had passed and my contractions had ramped up to literally like every 2 to 3 minutes. I was in agony. It was awful. I was literally laid on the floor, like on the corridor, like just crying. I was in so much pain. I was trying to pant through them, but yeah, it got quite intense pretty quick. So I thought they're really coming quick and fast now, so I'm going to ring the hospital and say I need to go in. So Neil's obviously trying to help me breathe through them, and I rang the hospital and just said, look, the pain is way too intense, I can't do this, like I need some pain relief basically. So when I got to the hospital, I finally got up to the delivery suite and they gave me a cervix check. Now they checked my cervix and it turns out I was 4 centimetres, so I could ring Neil and tell him he was allowed up to the delivery suite. So they gave me some gas and air, and I arrived at the hospital maybe around 3ish in the morning. I'd like to say 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I cannot remember. Now I did originally think, oh yeah, I will try and manage on gas and air if I can, and yeah, you know what, I kind of just took everything. A few hours had passed. I don't know exactly how long had passed because it was all just a big blur. The gas and air made me feel so drunk it wasn't real. A few hours passed, they did me another cervix check to see if I was progressing. I was still having like really active contractions, and yeah, so that's kind of where I was at. So I asked for some more pain relief because they was getting more intense. So my contractions actually started in the bottom of my back and then they wrapped round underneath my bump, and I swear to God I've never felt pain like it. So I ended up then being offered morphine, so I decided to take that, so they injected that into my arm. After I'd had the morphine, I can't really remember much of that. I ended up getting moved into a bigger delivery room, so that was one that was like twice the size of the one that I was in. So we moved into there, they do me another cervix check, they told me I think I was like 6 centimetres at this point. and it was daylight, so a few hours had definitely passed. By the time I'd been moved into the other room, I was in so much pain, it was unreal. So I asked for an epidural. Now, that's something I was always scared of having done, but you know what, it's the best thing I ever had. Like, I couldn't feel a thing once that was in. And to be fair, I was in that much pain anyway. Even having it put in wasn't painful, like, compared to the contractions I was having. So I'd had the epidural, had the morphine, I was on the gas and air. Hours were passing by at this point. When these hours were passing, I was having to be monitored. So there was monitoring his heartbeat, making sure he was okay, and there was also checking my contractions because they were coming far too quick. So they ended up giving me some more tablets to slow my contractions down because my body were contracting like way too quick for what it should be. So the contractions ended up slowing down and a few more hours had passed. It comes to around dinner time and the lady who was helping me deliver Oscar said, right, you're 10 centimetres, it is time to push. I immediately shit myself. I started shaking uncontrollably. I was, honest to God, I've never been so scared in my life. So yeah, I was shaking, I was crying, I was saying to Neil, I can't do it. Neil was so supportive, like, throughout the whole thing. It's so emotional just thinking back to it. So yeah, I got to 10 centimetres, started to push. Now, I was pushing, and obviously because of the amount of pain relief I had, I couldn't feel like literally anything. I was so spaced out, it was unreal. So yeah, I had my legs in stirrups because they'd gone completely dead, and I was laid there on the delivery bed, and they ended up pressing the emergency button as I was pushing. So loads of people just flung into the room, like literally loads of people. Now, they had to put something on his head while he was inside to measure his heartbeat. Basically, every time I was pushing him out, he was coming down fine, but then his heartbeat would drop him, and they didn't know why. So they ended up getting a consultant in, and she came in and basically just said, look, we're going to have to get him out like immediately. We're going to have to give you an 𝕵𝖃𝖺𝖊𝖈, and if you don't know what one of them is, I will insert a picture on screen so you can kind of see what it is. And we're going to have to use a ventouse to pull him out. And again, if you don't know what that is, I will put a picture on screen. So obviously I was upset at this point and just wanted him out. So I said, just use whatever you've got to, just do what you've got to do to get him out, basically. So they ended up pulling me to the end of the bed. They took the end of the bed off and cut me. Now, Neil said he watched it all. I don't know how he managed to watch it because wouldn't have been able to watch that. So they cut me open, put the ventouse on his head and pulled him out. So obviously they gave me him like immediately. But Neil said as they pulled him out, the cord was around his neck. So obviously that's why his heart rate kept dropping every time I would push him. But thankfully we got him out okay and he is happy and in one piece. So Neil took a picture of my placenta, so I will put it on screen if people want to see. So if you don't like anything graphic, then look away now. But yeah, that's what the placenta looks like. They stitched me back up and then they also moved a bucket of blood because I lost 400 millilitres of blood. I also had to have an anti-D injection as well because he was positive blood and I'm negative. So yeah, it was very hectic and a bit of a blur. Like the whole labour process obviously lasted over 12 hours. So he was born at 1:47 on the 9th of September, and yeah, that's kind of all I remember from my birth actually. It was very surreal. So yeah, that was my labour story. I'm sorry it was a little bit choppy here and there, but you know what, it was all just that intense. It was unreal. But if you do have any questions and you want me to go into anything a little bit further, then I will. I'm more than happy. Are you looking with one eye, mister? Yeah, if you want me to basically just go into anything in more detail, then I will. But yeah, so this has been my labour story, and here's our little boy. So this is my labour story. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then I would really appreciate it if you could. And until next time, I will see you later, hopefully looking a little bit more alive and less like a zombie.